Hello everyone, my name is Bailey and today I'm giving my spring TBR. I know it's already been spring, but we're gonna ignore that. I had originally said I wasn't going to do TBRs this year at all, not just videos, but like was totally just gonna mood read, but I think I forgot that I'm completely a type A personality and I have to plan everything, so that was never gonna work. I don't know why I made that a goal, but I do think monthly TBRs do kind of stress me out, so I think I'm gonna try and do it more by season. Looking at the pile I have, it's a little ambitious, especially when I consider that my classes will have me reading a book a week per class. So I don't know how this is gonna go, but these are like top books I want to prioritize above most other things. Aside from my books from school, I have a few arcs that I want to get to because the books come out in May, so I really want to read them like in April or early May. Also, I just want everyone to see this shirt. It's so cute. It's from Austin Kleon's shop. If I remember, I'll link it down below because I love him. He does really great art. I love all his books. And I love that I now have some merch that I can rep. So without further ado, let's go through the list. First two books I have here are from the library, which I hope means that I will read them like ASAP. First one is Vita Nostra by Marina and Sergei Dyachenko. That sounds right. I'm by no means fluent in Russian. Know nothing about that. But I do know quite a bit about this book. I've heard a few people talk about it. Number one person being Elias. I love his channel so much, and this was like one of his favorite books of last year. And the way it's described to me is like Harry Potter for adults, but also better. And I'm here for that. And his translated work, which I think is really cool. There's like a really interesting magic system, it seems, school setting, which I love. So I am really like hyped for this. I think this will probably be one of my first books that I read in April because it's due soon. I'm pumped about it. And next we have Bunny by Mona Awad. Okay, the things that I know about this. Kayla from Books and Lala really liked this. Other people have mixed opinions, and I really just want to know what all the hubbub is about. Stark academia setting at an MFA program. I'm curious, and I've heard so many people talk about this. I just want to know what it's all about. I also just got an arc of her newest book, which doesn't come out till like August, so I probably won't read it right away, but or in spring at least, but I want to kind of have a feel for her writing style before I dive into that arc. So I am excited about this one. And another magical book that I've been meaning to read for literally years. I think this is one of, when you look on my Goodreads, this has been on my TBR shelf since I got Goodreads. I mean, so long. And that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I can't believe I haven't read this. Everyone talks about this book and I just want to know what it's about. And I've been really in a like fantasy and magical realism mood, so I'm really hoping this quenches that thirst. I'm really hoping to read her other book, The Starless Sea, soon. Maybe not spring, but definitely in this year. But I want to read this one first since it came out first, and it just sounds great, sounds magical, and I'm also just really trying to clear out the books that have been on my TBR for years and years. I really want to make my TBR shelf be more books that are more current and that I have added, in the past year or two, not the past 7 years. So this is a top one I'm hoping to get to. And finally, a little spice of magic is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I I can't believe that I haven't read this yet. Literally everybody talks about this book, and I just need to get to it because I feel like I'm putting it off because it's so hyped, just waiting for the right time. And it's like, nah, I just need to read it. So I'm going to read this very soon. Don't know if it will be in April, definitely in May otherwise, because in May Buzzword is on Word is House. So like, hello, time for that. So we'll see when this gets read, but it will definitely be in the spring. These four, I would say, honestly, all of these are like hopes, but these top four are ones I really want to read like ASAP because I know I'm in a fantasy mood. I'm really craving this like magical stuff. Horror, I guess bunny, I don't know, that's more horror, but I'm in the mood for that sort of stuff, so I really want to read these soon. Now for some literary fiction, we have Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I always want to say the name wrong. Apologies to her. I've heard so much about this since it got the Booker, and lately I think a book club read this, and I've just seen it all over on the internet lately. I don't know why, because it got the Booker in 2019, but everyone's been talking about it lately, and I don't know, something about this cover just speaks to me as like April, early May. Like this just looks like spring colors to me, I guess, because it's so bright and like yellow. I guess I associate with spring, so the spine's bright yellow. So I really just want to read this and know what happens, know what everybody's talking about. These are generally, I feel like all of these books are pretty hyped, at least in my circles. So I really just want to get to, and all of these I think are ones that could be new favorites. Really want to prioritize reading really great books because past couple of months I feel like I haven't had a lot of favorites. So I really want to focus on reading books that I think I will love. So I think I'll love this one. Let's hope. Another literary fiction is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. Everyone's reading this book. I don't know why, because it came out a little while, at least over a year ago, because that's when I hauled it. And it's time. It's just time. I was actually signed to read this last March, but then everything happened last March, so then I never ended up reading it, and our class kind of fell apart. So it's time to read this. I know it's gonna be like heartbreaking, and I also know it's gonna be beautiful. I've heard some of the best writing people have ever read, and so I'm like excited for this, but I also know like it's gonna be a little more sad than pretty much any other book on this list, but I think I'm ready for that pain. And to counteract that pain, I then have Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I can't believe I haven't read this book. So it's time. My best friend just read this and she keeps telling me to read it, and she's like so obsessed with it, and I feel like that's generally the internet's views. Like everyone loves this except for Kayla from Books and Lala, but like everyone else I know is like love this book. So I really, and I don't know, I like to dabble in adult romance. I think if I read too many at once I get like burnt out, I guess, but this is like a nice little switch up from some of the more like heavy books I have going on, so this is a must. I really just want to talk with my best friend about it, so this is happening. Will be happening. And finally, kind of similar to that one, we have I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. I haven't been in a huge YA contemporary mood, which kind of sucks because a lot of my TBR is YA contemporary, but it's helping me branch out, you know? And but this is, I think if I read any YA contemporary in the next couple months, it will be this book. I've been wanting to read it for so long, and I really want to read about a non-binary main character, and so this sounds great. I also just want to read some Mason Deaver because they have a new book coming out in June, I want to say. So I really want to like read some of their stuff. I also bought the like short novella that comes with this that's set at Christmas time. If I get to YA Contemporary, it will be this one. So I'm pumped about this. And then just a couple of honorable mentions would be The Roar and the Whisper by Emma Clayton. These are like, I think I want to say YA. Doesn't say how old they are. YA sci-fi, dystopian. I'm on that vibe. I also, if I end up buying or receiving The Electric Kingdom by David Arnold, I'll consider that on this list as well. I love me some dystopian. I'm reading Parable the Sower for class this semester. I've read it before and I love that book, so I'm like super interested in just reading a little more dystopian, especially as our world kind of is returning to normal. We're getting the vaccines out and, you know, it doesn't feel like everything's on fire anymore. Things are looking up here. And a few other honorable mentions, I would say, I'm not guaranteeing any of these, would be The Little Prince. I guess I would guarantee this one the most because it's so short. And this is a reread, like 6th time I've read this. It's been many times. This is like my favorite book of all time, and I haven't read it in a couple years, so I just really want to reread it. And then the last ones, say Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl Strayed. This just seems like it'd be sweet and meaningful, and my life's going crazy right now, so I would love some read some advice columns. And then finally I have, this is like the newest book I've hauled, Gideon the Ninth. Don't know if I'll get to it. It's a little thick, sheet thick, but I would like to read it if I have time. And if I stay in this like fantasy, sci-fi, magical world mood, then I think it would be a great one to pick up. Again, I'm really, a goal for this year is to really read the books that I buy when I buy them. So this one is definitely one I want to prioritize in the next few months. So we'll see how this goes. So that is all the books that I hope to read this spring. I know it's a lot ambitious, but you know, we're trying, and that's all for this video. So if you like this video, I'd love if you subscribed if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up. Love to comment below, tell me what you're reading this spring, and just if you've read any of these. I'm sure you've read at least one because so many of these are such hyped books. Just give me your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.